Dead Queen's bestie trashes Meghan. Royals rolling out big guns to reduce Sussexes to rubble. Hello, friends. Welcome to the King YouTube channel. According to palace insiders who spoke with National Enquirer magazine, the royals are ramping up the heat in their war against Renegades Prince Cary and his fame-obsessed wife Meghan. Determined to crush the monarchy-bashing rebels, King Charles and Prince William are unleashing every weapon in their arsenal, including the late Queen Elizabeth's family friends. A well-placed palace source insists the firm is wasting no chance to remind the world Meghan and her Hollywood ambitions ripped the family apart and caused ailing Elizabeth terrible stress that likely contributed to her death. Insiders claim the latest attack comes through one of the late monarch's confidants, who trashes Meghan Markle for treating her real-life role as a prince's wife like a plum part in a Hollywood movie. The feisty Lady Anne Glenconner said she had no idea what was expected of her. She thought she would be riding around in a golden coach and having a wonderful time, but being a member of the royal family isn't like that. It's not a soap opera. It's jolly hard work, and a lot is extremely boring, meeting thousands of people and saying something interesting and nice to each person. Lady Anne continued, saying when she realized that, she wanted to get back to something she knew. I feel very sorry for her husband. The socialite insists that she's not the only one who feels like that. At the King's coronation ceremony back in May, Lady Anne claims that she asked the former U.S. Secretary of State John Cary what America thinks about Harry and Meghan, and his response was, "We all feel very, very sorry for Harry. I think I can just leave it at that." According to insiders, the outspoken opinions of Lady Anne, maid of honor at Elizabeth's coronation in 1953, and a former lady-in-waiting to the late Princess Margaret, dovetail with the palace's counterattack against Meghan and Harry. Charles, William, and Princess Kate are going about business as usual in public, but privately they're turning the screws on the rebels, according to a palace staffer. Her Majesty's trusted friend lashing out at Meghan and implying Harry is henpecked is another blow to the Sussexes' Hollywood dreams. Meanwhile, Charles and William secretly engaged psychological operations professionals to help silence Meghan and Harry's anti-royal accusations, which included some pretty outrageous charges like cruelty and racism and even violence. Another palace insider says, I'm told they were advised to play on Harry's self-confessed paranoia and Meghan's ego-driven need for attention, while maintaining a no-reaction strategy in public to anything Meghan and Harry do or say. The royals, and especially Catherine, are secretly fighting back using scene-stealing events and more dramatic fashions. Their savage attacks have backfired, and support has shifted significantly to the royals. It appears Harry and Meghan miscalculated. They thought conquering America would be plain sailing, but the royal headwind has blown them off course. Who knows if they can ever right their sinking ship? They really did believe that Oprah Winfrey interview was their ticket to fame and fortune and being admired by people all over the world. Well, the truth is that a pandemic, when families are struggling just to put food on the table, probably is not the best time to publicly whine about your overprivileged life, how daddy stopped giving you money when you were 35 years old, and how you could hardly even afford to pay the bills for your mansion. They simply cannot read a room, and they can't even get their story straight. And it's just honestly fascinating. How can they be so clueless? It's like they didn't even compare notes before they splashed their verbal diarrhea on the entire world. I thought Meghan was supposed to be an actress. I mean, the dishonesty of the wedding before the wedding was as obvious as a freshly cleaned window. Their inability to keep their smugness at bay was entertaining but cringy at the same time. They need to just go ahead and give this fake humanitarianism a rest, though. They're not fashion icons, they're not Hollywood power players, they're not business gurus. They need to give up that act. They should just do another sit-down interview maybe do another therapy session in front of the whole world. I mean, they can just lean into their cringiness because that's really all they have to sell. And I think the grifters would absolutely love making money spewing their nonsensical, vomit-inducing word salad. But the key would be finding somebody to support them, somebody with a lot of money who wants to waste it all on their vanity projects. Meghan has actually been on the hunt for a man like that her whole life, and Harry is simply a stepping stone. She could have parlayed that royal connection into a lot of money and fame for herself, but no. She can let go of getting revenge on the royal family for daring to say no to her. And that was her downfall. And I'm sure Meghan's going to write at least 5 memoirs in her lifetime. But there's no proof that she has any plans in the near future for a memoir. Meanwhile, I'm sure lovely Catherine, the Princess of Wales, doesn't spend a second of her day worrying about Meghan Markle. Everything Meghan touches turns to crap, and a memoir would be the same. She's a narcissist, and she also is incredibly immature, and that shows in everything she attempts. Meghan and Harry's shenanigans have just made people love William and Catherine even more. I think it would also be a pretty short memoir. I mean, her life is not all that interesting. Maybe Meghan could dedicate a chapter to each of her invisible kids, let us know all about what they go through at school every single day. And there would have to be a chapter on their Montecito McMansion. She could write about the cleaning regimen for its 16 bathrooms. I'm sure Harry's going to be involved somehow. The timing of the release of that memoir, though, is important. She's got to make sure that world events don't overshadow it. I mean, can you imagine if that woman really writes a book? It could be used as a case study for some severe mental health problems, I think. She doesn't even know what truth means. She just says whatever pops into her head. And she has really built her entire life around these fantastical delusions. I don't think it would sell otherwise, honestly. When it comes down to it, I think Catherine's attitude is just bring it on. Meghan should really just follow the same path she has been following. She's been showing the whole world what narcissism really looks like. She and Harry's absurdity has brought appreciation and attention to the monarchy, and it's only made William and Catherine more popular. In their efforts to expose the royal family, Meghan Markle really just exposed herself and all her flaws. One good thing I can say about Meghan is that at least she entertains us all, and for free. There's going to be more free entertainment for the rest of her life because she is a narcissist. She can't learn from her mistakes, and she's going to continue to put herself out there in the media even though nobody wants to see her. There are some people, though, who have a very good argument for staying away from her. That would be the rest of the royal family and really her own family, too. Her antics can be entertaining, sure, but some people need to be reminded that Meghan and Harry do not represent the royal family at all. They have nothing to do with them at this point. And if they don't have any access to the royal family, well, there's no way people could be confused over fact and fiction when it comes out of those mouths. I mean, anything new they're revealing is absolute BS. The more Meghan acts up, though, the more irrelevant she becomes, and pathetic, too. And the why is her narcissism. Meghan simply cannot see that she's the one destroying her brand that she claims to be so worried about. She becomes more absurd in her behavior as time goes on, and she becomes more desperate, and really she becomes sicker in the head, I think, too. At this point, she looks more unhinged than ever. I mean, even her makeup looks insane. She's making herself up like Tammy Faye Baker. So who knows where she's going to go from here. And you, what do you think about them? Please tell me your opinion below in the comments. If you think my video is useful, don't be afraid to like and share it with anyone else who would enjoy it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to click the subscribe button to get more updates in the future. Thank you so much for tuning in, have a lovely weekend, and we'll be back to see you all tomorrow.